Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, here at the D3Hoops.com Classic for 2024 with another classic conversation. Head coach Jamie Seward of the New Paltz Hawks, 1-1, 0-2 with the loss. But yeah, the way you played today, it was like you deserved to win. I know you guys were undersized. Talk to me about your approach going into the game.
No, I appreciate that. We got a young team. We have a very experienced team on some levels, but it changed when we lost Brianna, and then it kind of like pushed the youth movement off. Instead of pushing off a year, we kind of moved it up a season, and they have to learn how hard it is to play at this level.
Yeah.
And I think today they played really hard for a long time, but that minute and 50 seconds at the end of the third quarter, where we were visibly tired, we had a shot that rimmed out that I think would have given us the lead, and I was about to jump off and call a timeout. It rimmed out, they get a three on the other end, and then scored about 8 straight points to open up an 8 or 9 point lead going into the fourth, and it was a little too much to overcome. But I was really proud of the way they approached the game. It was different today. I could hear them when I was sitting in the bleachers during the previous game. They were loud, warming up on the side.
Yeah.
I went in for my pregame and I said, you know what, you guys sound ready. I'm not going to do anything or say anything to mess it up. So just go and play. And they really had a different kind of energy today. And I think it was important for us. We're never going to be, a program that's satisfied with losing and takes any moral victories out of anything. But, I'm proud of the effort. And, they were not just physically but emotionally exhausted, and that's what it takes. And we know it's not enough still, but it's a starting place. So hopefully as we go into conference play, it's something to build on.
Well, I was impressed by the way you guys hung in there. You come in, you've got one true forward. She's 6 foot, right? I know you got some other players. You're running, and you're running wave after wave of shooting guards on their 6'2" All-American center, and the press actually worked pretty well.
Yeah, we thought they got some really good shooters, and obviously they got Zoe inside. But we thought that if they're going to get good shots one way or another, let's speed them up and let's try to get something for us. If we can, we're going to sacrifice something one way or another because, she's such a good passer. And so you can't double her or you can't just straight, send the second defender. So we figured let's try to speed them up. Let's pressure their guards. And, I thought in the third quarter we got to them and, we were close to maybe pushing them over the edge. But like I said, we kind of got tired and blinked a little bit there. And got a team like that, they're going to take advantage of it. So credit to them for doing that. But I thought we fought inside and tried to. I think the game was played like the way we needed to play as opposed to the way they needed to. But at the end of the day, they're a really good basketball team.
Yeah, talk to me about Julia Sabatino. She had a triple-double earlier this year. She's one of just 3 players in your program's history that's done that. She's got to be the heart and soul of your team. One of the best little rebounders I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Coming into the season, we thought, she was a pretty good season away from being the best point guard in the history of the program. And I think 9 games in, she may already grab that mantle. She just plays so hard, competes so hard, and cares so much. And so as a coach, when you have somebody that when things aren't going well is just as hurt as you are, it's not always the way. And we're just really, really blessed to have her in the program the last 4 years and, consider her like a true friend of the family and just love her. And I don't know where we'd be with the injury to Brianna without her and her leadership. And she really, has taken the ownership of guiding this young group and, starting 2 freshmen and a sophomore who played, maybe 10, 12 games last year. And she's held them accountable while still keeping them enthusiastic, which is a tough thing to balance. So, would never be able to say enough positive things about her and what she does.
We've mentioned Brianna a couple of times. That's Brianna Fitzgerald, top player in the region, top player in the conference, All-American. You lose her in the preseason. First off, tell me a little bit about what it's like. You got to adjust so quickly. It's like I said to Coach Holko, who lost her top player for Susquehanna, the same thing. It's not like you got 85 players where you could go to your second or third string quarterback. You got 12 or 14. So what does that do as a coach? How do you approach that to retool things so quickly?
Honestly, Gordon, we found out they were kind of like, they don't think it's ACL. It's not that, maybe a meniscus. And then she got the MRI. So we didn't find out until almost like 2 weeks after she actually had the injury. Okay. So we were kind of like, all right, we're going to get through the first semester. And then, at worst. And then found out the day before our second scrimmage, about 6 days before our first game, that she was out for the season. So we didn't really have time to change things at that point. But then we had 2 games and we had like a 10-day gap. And it was like, all right, the way we intended on playing with Bree is not going to work. And the personnel we were going to use, because a lot of people that, like Morgan Hamill was a starter, played started 20, 30 games, whatever, last year, and she was a very good complementary player to Bree. But now that we needed to change what we're doing a little bit, it changed her role, and so yeah, it changed a lot of things. And I got to give a lot of credit to people like Morgan and Madison Molman, 2 seniors, grad students, who have kind of taken a big step back in their minutes because we've had to change the way we played, and it's not really fair to them, but it's what gives this team the best chance, in the long run, and this season, and not even this season in the future, but really this season as well, most importantly. And so yeah, it's changed a lot of things, but I give a lot of credit to our players for making those adjustments to the way we're playing, but also the adjustments to like your personal stuff and still putting the team first.
Now I noticed Brianna she's still very active. She was shooting in warm-ups. She's extremely active on the bench. It's almost like you picked up an assistant coach here. I know you'd rather have on the floor, but tell me a little bit about Coach Fitzgerald.
Yeah, she's just phenomenal. The way she's handled this from the very beginning. She said she found out she was a first-team preseason All-American, and a half hour later, literally, found out that her season was over. So as she said, it was like dreams realized and dashed within an hour. Yeah. But by the time we got to practice that evening, she was what you saw today. She's bouncing around. She beat one of our players in a sprint down and back the other day. It's like you just got beat with a kid with one ACL, But she's just an amazing, amazing person. One of the best people I've ever had the privilege to coach or even be around in my life. And I can't tell you how many people I've had, they've seen her during warm-ups or during the game and been like, that kid is amazing. Like, she's going places. And I've said to her for years, like, I just want a job, whatever you do, give me a job. I've taken good care of you, let you shoot the ball, turn the ball over. But she's phenomenal, and she's been great. She's taken a lot of these kids under her wing from before we ever got to the season, like over the summer, and she's maintained that throughout. And yeah, she's a special one.
So I know you've had a rough start to the season, but you are 2-0 in conference, and that conference fairly wide open. Cortland graduated a fair amount, and it's really been you two and then whatever the next tier is. So talk to me about what's your mindset going into conference play.
Yeah, I think, we just said that we have a tough game at Oswego. They played us really tough last year, 3 times, including semifinals. They also lost their best player to an ACL injury as well, coincidentally. But it's a tough place to go. It's almost 4-hour ride. We usually go up day of, so it's tricky. And even when we've had we went to the Sweet 16 in 2017, they won 4 games, and one of them was against us at Oswego. Oh, wow. So we know it's a tough place to play, and that's what I was trying to impress upon this young team. Like, we got a few days of practice here now, and we need to keep that mindset that we had. But yeah, thanks for reminding us that we're 2-0 in conference. That helps the sting a little bit. But we think that we just got to keep getting better, put ourselves in position to be in the conference tournament first, and hopefully if we get there, we're playing our best basketball at that time and give ourselves a shot, because I do think this team has a lot of growth. There's a higher ceiling than we played at this point. We played a tough schedule, and we fared well in pockets. So it's just the consistency and knowing that you can't take a play or a minute or 2 possessions off, and that's kind of what happens when you have several young players out there at once. But they're learning and they're eager, and so it's exciting coming back every day. And it's going to be an interesting with Geneseo and Brockport leaving the conference. It's going to be different. So we'll see, but we'll get right at it Tuesday with a tough one.
Last question for you. We're in Las Vegas. I know you've got the men's team here too. Talk to me about what you're going to do that's not basketball.
Well, we're going to go over the Venetian tonight, I think. Just as kind of a breaking off point. Just because you got half the team are 18, 19, and half of them want to get to the tables. We think, there they got the shops and the gondolas and all that. It'll be something for them to do too. But just trying to make sure that at 8:30 when our bus leaves the airplane, that they're all in the lobby. That's what we're really trying to do.
Right. Coach Seward, great energy. We've enjoyed having you here. We'd love to have you back, and we'll keep an eye. Coach Seward, quietly one of the best coaches in Division III. You have like a 70% winning percentage, and you guys have built a really top-notch program at SUNY New Paltz.
It's a really nice place. I came around at the right time. They had just put a lot of money into athletics and new facility, and raised the academic standards. So right place, right time definitely helps.
And right, Coach. That'll do it for us for our D3Hoops.com Classic Conversation. We'll be back with more from Las Vegas.